viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Time for Truth Show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernardfialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to a Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernardfialkoff. It's a pleasure to be back with you again tonight. And let's first, before we get started with our program, do some housekeeping. Many of you have been asking, how do I avail myself of all the previous episodes? It's very simple. Go on YouTube, click a Time for Truth show, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you as one of our members. There's no fee, there's no requirement. The only requirement is that you become part of the team that's bringing truth to our world, the world that so badly needs integrity, humanity, teamwork, and community. And we welcome you. And tonight we're going to go over something that many people experience because, you know, we work hard, but we want to sleep. We want to relax, unwind, but we can't. And I've heard so many people complaining, and as a doctor of 46 years, I want to share with you some of the things that I do and have been proven to work because, you know, if you've ever struggled to fall asleep, you're tossing, you're turning, or you're waking up, but you don't feel like you slept, you know, even though you're in that bed, or you just don't sleep, and you say, well, how am I ever going to get to sleep? And you fall asleep at work. And so they assume that their problems are going to be solved by, well, I heard there's these nice pillows. I'm going to get these specially contoured pillows, and that's going to handle it. Or, you know what, it's too much light in my room. I'm going to get those blackout curtains. Some people get white noise machines, or waterfalls, or birds singing, and, you know, and some sleep supplements, melatonin. And while they all work, and they may give you some alleviation, you know, we need to take a look at the big picture, because sometimes when we do things on, you know, that are aside or associated, we get some improvement, but we're not handling the root cause. Where is it coming from? Recently, the Surgeon General of our country came out with some very interesting, you know, scientific realizations as human beings of the root cause of a lot of our physical infirmity. So tonight, we're going to focus on a different aspect of this, which is what he spoke about also in his own way, Dr. Vivek Murthy, stress. The stress that we experience in the United States of America. Buddha, let's put up the first image on the screen, please. And perfect example of what we experience. How are we going to handle what you see in this poor man's face? Sometimes it occurs during the day, sometimes at night. And, you know, how is this happening? What's happening? And are we responsible? Do we generate some of our own worry and sleeplessness by our own actions during the day. So let's see how we can determine how we can sleep better at nighttime, and why some people say they're constantly on. They feel like they never can turn off and go to sleep. And even when their day is over, their mind is racing. And it's active, it's unsettled, and it doesn't really come from some major life problem that they're going through, but it comes from small, repeated patterns during the day that they're experiencing. Let's go to the next image, please, Buddha. And here you have a perfect example. Here he is on the phone, and, he's has all these other conversations going on at the same time. It happens. This seems like it's a little bit of a humorous image, but it's not, because it happens quite often. I'm sure you've experienced that, or sometimes it leads to an argument in the house, but it can happen at work also. We can substitute the young boy for an employer or an employee. It makes no difference. And the wife for another employee or employer. And you're being interrupted. And your train of thought is not continuous. You can't finish the task. Or you're jumping between tasks because now they're giving you a different task. Or you're getting notifications on this beautiful machine, but it beeps. And you're getting notifications interrupting you. And constant interruptions. You're involved mentally with problems that really are not urgent at this point, and are not what you want to be doing or need to be doing. And it seems like this is very simple, but together you're in a constant state of restimulation. Let's go to the next image, please, engineer. And, let's see how our everyday habits can disrupt our sleep. Let's define by what causes this unnecessary daily stress. What are these habits that don't really improve our health or problem solving really at the moment? Well, overchecking your messages or being constantly on social media takes you off task. Multitasking is okay, but if you don't finish any of them, it's tremendous chaos and stress of all these cycles, like all these different rooms, not finished painting. Or somebody giving you news, stressful news, repeatedly. Maybe you have a worker. Maybe you have a boss who's never happy with what you do. What starts happening is you start worrying and thinking because you have so many problems. But the problem's not really now. They're things that you were in the past, but you're stuck with them because nothing has been completed. And they may feel like this is a normal day in New York City or in the United States of America, but they keep you mentally incomplete. And those incomplete days turn into restless nights, as you see there in the image of this poor woman at work. So let's go to the next image, please, and see how then when we're in bed, all these incomplete cycles, all these interruptions that led to more half done, or people upset because they feel you weren't paying attention to them, or you're upset and you're wondering why that person can't get it through their thick skull. It takes time to do things. And so you don't sleep well. And it also affects your body. And your body has hormones. And when you don't get a chance to relax, your body doesn't relax. And you have cortisol, which affects how you sleep and your weight. And you don't go to sleep well. So you don't enter a good REM sleep, which actually lets you rehabilitate overnight. So your hormones change. And if your day is filled with this unfilled tension, transitioning to sleep becomes very difficult, and you have difficulty. You wake up in the middle of the night, or you toss and turn, or you're very light, but your sleep is very easily broken. And in the morning, you look and you say, well, I slept 8 hours, but I don't feel like I really slept anything. And you can see in the image how this poor man has all of the memories or images or incidents of that day that are incomplete. Let's go to the next image. And sometimes you'll see here, we lie awake, carrying over a day that never fully slowed down. And so it interrupts and it disrupts your ability to sleep because there's so much unfinished, as we said, and so much feels incomplete. So your mind wants to solve these problems to complete them, but it's doing it in the middle of the night. And conversations keep playing in your head, upsets play in your head, tasks that you didn't finish, messages or something that you just remember in the middle of the night that you never got a chance to respond to, and it was due that day, and now you're home, and all you're thinking about is that paper or that memo that you can't get to, and now you have to rush out in the morning because you want to get there before your boss does, or it was due and you had to mail it, or maybe it was your taxes that were due. God knows the plethora of things that could occur. And, at night, when you don't have all these other disruptions and it's quiet, all those unfinished actions that we're on pop up. And they get into your universe. They start bothering you. And so we get memories of the cell phone ringing, of the immediate responses that we were supposed to give, of all these artificial intelligence prompts or promotions that you see and you get on your phone. And the phone, if you have it on, is constantly beeping. Some people have it on beeping mode. I have mine totally off. I don't want that disrupting me. But you get that, or requests from people, or people who get your number who are not even really part of your family, your friends, and you get messages, you get email messages, you get text messages, you get social media messages from people that you have no idea how they ever got your contact. It's very common in today's world of artificial intelligence. So you're getting all these inputs at the same time, and you're not in control. So what happens is here you have these interruptions, as you see on the image. You have the incomplete cycles. You have all this clutter. And here you are in your bed. You're not going to sleep because your day has never ended. You need 48 hours. You need 2 days to complete one. And that's not going to happen until we make the next amendment with God. And so now, what is really the basis of all this? What's below it all? What is the problem? Is that you're not controlling. We're being controlled by an outside source. So when you don't have control and you're being moved around or you can't complete anything, you don't feel comfortable. There's always something you're going to forget. And what's going to happen is going to pop up when finally all of the chaos ends and you think you're going to finally go to sleep, but you're not. So let's take a look at the next image, and let's take a look at a solution that I have found really works, which is called a battle plan. What is a battle plan? Well, a battle plan is taking a look at what you want to accomplish, whether it be in your family, whether it be in your exercise routine at the gym, whether it be at work, whether it's some investment. A battle plan is a goal that you have, that you put at the top of that battle plan is what you want to accomplish, and then a series of steps that lead to the accomplishment of that goal that's on your battle plan. In fact, if you want to do this course, it's actually put out by a man named Hubbard that you see at the bottom, and you could actually get this at Wise International. They're online. And this course goes over how do you battle plan? How is it done? How do you continue it? What are the steps? And you can learn how to utilize this battle plan. Now, nothing in life is going to be perfection. Let's be realistic. Life is full of people. Life is full of many people working at the same time. But that battle plan gives you a way of having a compass. It shows you where you want to go to. It would be like going into the ocean without a compass, or looking at the stars would be like going into your day without any idea of what you wanted to accomplish, with no structure, with no where's my north, where's the North Pole, looking at where your North Pole is. That's what your battle plan does for you. So what happens is, now think of it as if you were carrying a backpack. If you have no battle plan, you're going to accumulate all those incomplete cycles, interruptions, negativity into your pack. It's going to weigh very heavily at nighttime. It's going to be very stressful. But if you complete the steps on your plan, it becomes lighter because you're completing steps. And I'm sure you've always seen this, as if I've seen this. When you complete objectives, targets, steps, whatever they may be, on the way to your goal, things get lighter. They don't get heavier. They don't get more stressful. They get calmer. So you need that plan so that you control the tasks and duties. It's called a battle plan. And you formulate that plan based on your purpose, your objective. That precise plan helps you to coordinate matters during the day. Why? Because when somebody comes to you with something disrelated, you tell them, you know what, you should go see Mr. Smith. He handles that. Because it's not on your battle plan. You don't get involved. You don't try to be a good neighbor, because at work, you're supposed to produce what you're supposed to produce, because each person has their own part of that company. If they were all doing the same thing, you get chaos and you get bankruptcy, which unfortunately happens in 50% of the companies that try to start out. They more than likely never had a battle plan. And that battle plan subdivides your targets, so that maybe you send out your secretary to do something, and you have a helper in your office, you send the helper out for something, and you do a part of that. And with the three of you working on the same target, the same step, you accomplish that target and you move to the next one. So doing and completing, you're able to climb up step by step until you get to the level that you want to get to. And no matter how big or expansive the goal, you're heading in the right direction, which gives you satisfaction. It gives you a more relaxed, confident state of mind, because you're going forward, you're not going sideways or backwards. And with that kind of a structured approach, you also start to relax. So you start to realize and recognize where the negativity in your life is coming from, because you're not stressed out. And when you're relaxed and comfortable, you see the negativity, and sometimes you're going to see it's coming from certain people. And you'll notice that these people are constantly causing chaos. They're telling you it can't be done. They invalidate you when you have a solution. And they make less of what you feel is going to work. And they don't like to complete things. It seems like they just get involved in getting everyone going. Well, those people exist, but when you're more relaxed and under control, you see them. And being more in a causative frame of mind, you realize that you get them to a different department. Probably you should get them out of the business totally and not have them work in your organization whatsoever. But definitely you want to get them out of your space. And who do you surround yourself with? Positive people. People who are social and communicate and tell you, well, why don't we try this way? I think your idea is good. Would you think of modifying it this way? But you accomplish the steps. It's a team. You're coordinated. If you think of what we've accomplished on this planet as mankind, we're coordinated. And the wars are the chaos that creates so much destruction. And if we had a little more battle planning, coordinated to a human goal, we probably have a more sane and relaxed planet, and we would see who these people are causing this chaos. Because remember, behind all chaos, someone is benefiting. So if you're going to sleep and you can't go to sleep, somebody is benefiting from the fact that you can't sleep. Realize it's not just coming because you don't try. You're probably a very good social human personality, but you're not seeing what's going on. Let's go to the next image, and let's see the habits that we can incorporate daily. So we finish our battle plan instead of leaving things half done or undone or being distracted and going off in some side direction. Let's see how we can schedule in our plan to take a break once in a while. Why? Because you're not a machine. And no matter how well you do, it's a good idea to take a little bit of a break so that you can clear what's happened over the last few hours and then start with a clear mind. Maybe you're going to need to have a little bit of food, a little snack or something. You know, it takes energy. Just because you're only writing or speaking, it doesn't mean you're not exerting energy, and you require energy. So, you know, it's important for you to schedule something for yourself. And also you want to have that plan. Why? Because this way you can stay coherent and not be distracted with unnecessary phone calls or looking on media at unnecessary times. You can delegate. As you see there in the center, he's delegating to one of his co-workers. Or in the family, the wife and the husband can delegate to the older kids. Maybe they help out, you know, or maybe the husband decides to go do one part of a task and the wife does another. And obviously it's very common, but when we have nights where we don't sleep, probably there's been one person trying to be the superhero. And sometimes you have to, but most of the time, it'd be a great idea to delegate and work as a team so that the task can be accomplished with a little more relaxation and ability to stay coherent and calm. So this organized approach also does something very important. And it actually comes from this man Hubbard, that he says, production is the basis of morale. And what does that mean? Well, what he's saying is that when you actually accomplish what you want and you produce what it was that you had really thought in your mind was your purpose, you're happy because you've accomplished your task. It's like when Venezuela won the Classic, that team and that country was in such tremendous morale because the Venezuelan team had produced and accomplished their goal. They won that series. They were the top team in the world. That's a fantastic example of production leading to morale. And that morale leads to a lot of energy changes around you. So then you produce even more because you have now what's called confidence. You become like a Michael Jordan or a Madonna, you know, or whoever it is that your favorite person. And when you accomplish those tasks, you prevent, but you actually also blow your stress. You get rid of those barriers. You get rid of those negative people and you sleep well. Why? Because you're satisfied. And when you're satisfied, you get more relaxed. Let's go to the next image, please, engineer. For some more helpful tips. So as you're reaching nighttime, wind down. Have some battle plan for the end of the night. Don't engage in unnecessary phone calls or social media. Avoid stressful, emotionally stressful people or actions that you know are going to get you involved. You want to be able to go to sleep, hopefully by 10 p.m. if you can. If not, as early as possible, because the body has a circadian rhythm. If the body goes to sleep by around 10 or so, it sleeps better and it sleeps more profoundly. And it's important to realize because it comes from the evolution, from the body evolutionary line. So the body has certain cycles during the day. And if you go beyond 10 p.m., even though you sleep 8 hours, that rest will not be the same because the body is sleeping outside of its normal comfort zone. So the other thing you can do is you can drink some chamomile tea, which is relaxing, and you can put some calcium, magnesium powder with vitamin D3 and K. And why? Well, because they're very good for your nervous system, and it relaxes you, and it puts you in a more calm state as you're reaching soon going to sleep. Avoid overload. Apply these changes and realize that you are important too. You're part of the big picture. Don't think that somehow you're outside of all this. And then, as you see on the screen, walk with your significant other. It's tremendously rehabilitating. Or go exercise, whatever exercise you like. It releases endorphins. It releases endocannabinoids. It releases dopamine. It releases serotonin. All these are natural body hormones that make you feel good. You can start getting out your stresses of the day and relax. Talk with your significant other, with your spouse, with your husband, with your wife, with your family, with your kids. See how the day went. And you start evolving in something that's in common and is pleasurable. And it creates warmth. Let's go to the next image, please, Buddha. And none of this is going to be perfection. But with some consistency and some organization, before you know it, you get some closure. So your mind is not cluttered with all these cycles. You start to handle things better, so your confidence grows. And you start seeing that, yes, you can plan out your day with this battle plan. You can make decisions ahead of time on how to handle the chaos before it occurs, so it's under your control. And controlling your life using your own determinism, your decision making, and your will eliminates all the unnecessary interruptions. It allows you to complete tasks instead of leaving them half done. It allows you to produce and have a good feeling, a good morale. Because sleep is not only something that you do at nighttime. Sleep is something that comes from the control you've exerted the whole day. It's your reward for your job well done. So, as we conclude this show, let's exist less fragmented, more complete. And if we do that, your night will be calmer. Your sleep will be more profound and more rehabilitating. You'll recuperate overnight. Life doesn't have to be perfect, but we can enjoy a less scattered existence. And you can be the captain of your ship. You can enjoy your day, your family, and you can reward yourself. And in the end, it's your life. And it's your life to create the way you please. We live in a democracy, the United States of America. So decide what you want and go for it. I hope this show helps you tremendously. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next episode of A Time for Truth show. Be well.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. at your feet.